everybody. Welcome to Unlocking Lore, the storytelling podcast. I am your host, Maria, traditional storyteller. Thank you so much for coming. Hey, Tabitha, good to see you there. Ray Ron, as always, huge wing hugs. R2, thank you and for coming. And the first one on here was Dunadan. Hey, Dunadan, thank you so much for coming tonight. I have a very, very exciting story tonight. Again, I am premiering a new story that I have been working on for just a little while, and I hope you like it. We will be delving into a Grimm's tale tonight. So I don't know if you guys know anything about Grimm stories or about the Grimm brothers, but there is a reason why people say it's grim. So yeah. I did do some investigating a few years back about these tales, and my research led me to learn that the Grimm brothers did have some pretty gruesome tales, actually, and they do use them for kind of unlocking lore dark mode stuff. And I have posted on my social media a couple storytellers, British storytellers, who are really, really awesome. They are called Lore and Legend. I hope you guys can find them. If not, I will be posting them again. They're the ones who allowed me to use the last story, and they did a new series of Halloween specials. So yeah, it's gonna be awesome tonight. And believe it or not, I was on Polly's Polly the Latino Slantos Twitter space today, and I was lucky enough to be on a very very important meeting with them and with a lot of other people from Hollywood. It was really amazing. So lots of things coming up, really. Anyway, hey Avery, good evening. I hope you guys are all well, and I hope you guys are ready for this story. Like I said, I am premiering, and hopefully we'll be hearing more new stories coming up. So, without any further ado, let's begin. Out there in Germany, once upon a time, there was a soldier with a good heart, but a soldier nonetheless. And as you know, soldiers do learn their trades. But unfortunately, wars do not last forever. Thankfully, they don't last forever. But in this case, this poor soldier did not learn any other trade than being a soldier. He was in and out of wars. He was the best marksman. He could shoot extremely well. But when the war was over, after many, many years, he went back to his hometown and found that his parents had died. He went to his brothers asking for work and learning how to do a trade, but unfortunately, they turned him away, saying, why do I need you? Why do we need you? You're nothing but a mere soldier. It's curious, being Veterans Day, that this story would come up, that this story would bubble up. Nevertheless, the soldier understood what his brothers told him, grabbed his things and left. He walked days and days. He walked into a small forest, finding shade and looking for a source of water. After a few hours, he did find it. He replenished his canteen and sat down by a near tree to think of the options that he had. He didn't know what to do. He did know how to shoot. He didn't know about strategy, logistics, you could say nowadays. That wasn't enough. He had to do something else, but he was stumped. He didn't know what. Till finally, he fell asleep. It was during the middle of the night that he heard footsteps coming near. As a soldier, he was alert and he woke up, grabbed his rifle and aimed it. And coming near him was a big man with red eyes and a grin from one ear to another. But what the soldier was very curious was his feet, because he didn't have the soles and shoes of that time. No. He couldn't believe his eyes. And he saw hooves underneath the cloak that the stranger had. And he knew who was coming for him. What other creature of the night with hooves and an evil grin, coming in search of a desperate soul, would come near him? The stranger came up and said, "Soldier, I see that you have no trade. So why don't you work for me?" The soldier didn't obviously accept the offer, being a good man with a good heart. But the devil didn't stop there. He wanted his soul. And he knew the desperate situation of the soldier when he said, "Well, I'll make you a deal." Do you want to hear it? Do you want to hear it? The soldier agreed. "I'll tell you what. I will give you all the money in the world that you need, as long as you can prove your worth and your bravery." The soldier said, "Bring it on." "Of course." "Very well." And all of a sudden, the soldier heard a lumbering through the other side of the forest, a big, huge bear running up to him, The soldier grabbed his rifle, aimed it, and shot it. And it hit him right between the nose. Down it went the bear. The soldier got up, faced the devil square in the face, said, "There you go." "No, no, 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 no," said the devil. "That was just the first part. Now comes the real challenge." The devil went up to the bear and started skinning him. He washed the fur of the bear so that all the blood went all through the river that was near them. He grabbed it and created a coat, slapped it on the soldier, said, "This is the deal. For 7 years, you will walk, roam around the earth. You will not cut your hair. You will not cut your nails. You will not bathe. And if after 7 years you are still alive, then you can keep all the money that you will find in your pockets." The soldier heard money in his pockets, and immediately his hand went inside the coat, the bearskin coat, and out came gold and silver. He put it again, and even more gold. The devil looked at him and said, "Yes, you will have all this and more. Your pockets will never be empty of gold and silver. If you so much as cut a strand of your hair, hair from your beard, then your soul will be mine." The soldier thought, "Well, what if I die? Then I await you in hell," said the devil. The soldier thought, "Well, what are my chances?" So he agreed. The devil looked at him, smiling from ear to ear, greedily looking at that soul, said, "From now on, you will be known as Bearskin." And with that, the creature of that night disappeared, leaving a faint smell of sulfur. The soldier thought, "Well, let's do this." He put his hand in his pocket, and yes, he did have money. So the first year was fine. His hair grew, he grew a nice beard. It went well. People would be kind to him, and he was a good man. He would roam around the earth from village to village, and he would give to the poor, especially to the poor, and asked them in favor to pray so that he would not die, and not a strand of hair would be cut off for the next 7 years. And they did do that. But it was in the third year that he began to have problems. His face was covered with hair, his beard as long as his waist. His hands were claws from never being able to cut his fingernails. You can imagine the stench while he was walking around, having not been bathed all that time. People were afraid of him. And even though he tried to give some money to the poor, they accepted it with fear and with disgust. When he went to the village, people would shut their shutters, close their doors in his face. He tried to find shelter, but little by little, people no longer wanted him near. It was during the 4th year that now he decided that he had to find somewhere that he could sleep with a little bit of dignity, a roof over his head, a barn, anywhere. He couldn't be sleeping outside. So he went into a nearby village. At the inn, everybody tried to stay away from him. And even though he had a very, very nice voice, the owner of the inn would not take him in. Not even to the barn. He might frighten the horses. Until finally, boom, a sack full of gold. Well, that's good, said the inn. He grabbed it and he left. He said, "You're going to sleep outside in a nearby shelter." As he was going to this shelter, Bearskin heard a whimpering and a crying. As a man full of compassion, he went and found an old man crying his eyes out. Bearskin said, "What's wrong?" The man, filled with tears, said that he was full of debt. He wasn't able to pass, he was unable to pay for any of it. And now his daughters and him were going to starve. Well, Bearskin said, "I will help you." So he went to the person to whom he was indebted, and boom, another sack of gold. The old man couldn't believe what he was seeing. Somebody helped him, a complete stranger. Joy filled his heart so much. He said, come to my house. I have 3 beautiful daughters. They will fix you up in no time. You don't have to wear all these things. Come, and perhaps one of them can become your wife. Well, Bearskin uh, didn't mind that idea, but he knew that he still had 3 years to wander around with that bearskin cloak over him. He went to the man's house and he found the 3 daughters, one more beautiful than the other. But when the man introduced him as Bearskin and said that one of them would be his wife, that could be his wife, the first one shrieked so loud that the windows cracked and she sped out. The second one looked in disdain and said, "I'm not marrying a big furball." She looked at him and was about to pluck one of the hairs out, and he, with his clawed arm, pushed her away. Enraged, she left. But the third one looked at him, looked at her father and said, "Father, this man helped you. Is he a complete stranger?" "Yes, he did. And I promised one of you as his wife." "You promised him?" You must keep your promise. But Bearskin didn't want to pressure. So he asked 15 days to stay with this young girl, get to know him. And if she agreed, she would become his wife. What they talked about during those 15 days, only they themselves knew. But what we do know is that when those days were over, the girl looked at Bearskin into his eyes, and sadness filled her heart when he said, I must leave, for I have 3 more years to wander around. Will you wait for me? And the girl earnestly said, yes, I will. He took out a ring that belonged to his mother, cracked it apart, and wrote his name, his true name, onto one side. And he wrote her name onto the other side. The side where he was, he gave it to the girl. The girl kept it. The one with her name kept it with him. He kept it. And he said, wait for me 3 years. If I don't come back, you're free from this engagement. So for 3 long years, Bearskin still roamed the countryside. You can imagine how it was, how people still disdained, but he still gave to the poor. And the poor still asked for his soul, asked for his life, prayed for him. And the girl, well, all we know is that she was cooped up. Nobody really knew what happened during that time. All I know is that she was filled with sadness. And that there were rumors that her sisters mocked her, saying, well, when your bearskin comes back, be careful, because bears like to claw their wives. At the end of 3 years, Bearskin went back to the place where he had encountered the devil. And there he was, smelling sulfur, hooved feet, but there was no grin this time on his face, but rage in his eyes. Bearskin said, the time is up. He took off the bearskin cloak and threw it to the devil. Be off with you, he said. And the soldier said, stop. You're going to clean me up. And even though he didn't want to, the devil did clean him up. He cut off all that hair. He shaved that soldier till he was pristine. He even washed him. You can imagine what that was. After that, the soldier was clean, pristine, and the devil gave him a new jacket. A jacket with big pockets filled with gold that would never run out. He left. The soldier, with a happy heart, went to the village where his betrothed was waiting. But before he entered, he went and hired a carriage. He bought himself a perfect suit. And when he came into that small village, looking for his beloved, everyone thought that he was a colonel. Everyone cheered and laughed, and all the girls were swaying. And he stopped in front of the cottage where she lived. The man came out and didn't recognize his future son-in-law, but mistake him for a colonel. He said, come in, please." The soldier went in, took a seat, and the first and second daughter, they were all over him. They were feeding him bits and morsels of the juiciest kind. But the third daughter, the youngest one, was sitting a little bit further away, her eyes cast down. He never took his eyes off her. And then the soldier looked at the father and said, "Will you give me one for your wife?" At that moment, the eldest and the second daughter thought that they would be chosen, so they ran up and they changed into their best dress. The father went to look at the daughters and left alone the youngest and Bearskin. Finally met. Bearskin grabbed a cup of wine and stealthily put the half ring in it and gave it to the young girl. The girl thanked him and drank it. And when she saw the ring down at the bottom, she quickly grabbed it and stared at it in awe. She put her hand in, and out came a gold necklace with the other half of the ring. She put it together and realized who that man was. Those 15 days came back to her mind so vividly. Everything they had talked, everything that they had shared. The future was before them. A very beautiful future. And she immediately ran to his embrace, and he hugged her so tightly. And that's how the elder sister and the second sister found them, lovingly embracing each other. They were filled with such rage that they went insane. And they ran out. The eldest sister, in her anger and her insanity, threw herself into the well and drowned. The second sister hung herself from the nearest tree. After the wedding day, they moved into a beautiful house. And it was only after the ceremony, when darkness came out, that the soldier heard a knock on the door. He went and opened it, and there was a stranger, grinning from ear to ear, hooved feet, and a cloak of darkness. He said, "Instead of your soul, I found two. I hope that won't be the last." And the soldier quickly closed the door, had the parish priest, the pastor, bless the house, because he never wanted to encounter that stranger again. That is the story of Bearskin. Hey, thank you so much. Now you understand why it's a Grimm's tale, and I did make it a little bit better. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, but I didn't change the end. That is the real end of the story. If you guys look it up, I did put some salt and some pepper in it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Sam, thank you so much for coming in, and I see some new people on the stream. It is so cool. Thank you so much for coming. Well, we got Gato. Gato, thank you so much for coming always. Master with TDS just wasn't in and out, but that's great because that really helps with the algorithms. Tim's Talk, thank you so much for coming. I really hope you enjoyed this story. This is what I do. I am a traditional storyteller. I work on old tales that are really dear to my heart, and I am working on some new repertoire. I hope you guys like that. Kaylee Chow, thank you so much for coming. I hope you're still in there in the chat. And I hope you've discovered something new. You know, storytelling is not a very, very broad, very big performing arts, but it is growing. It is growing. So thank you so much. And Avery, as always, Sam, this is actually my old outro, sorry. Thank you for the TDS. Thank you to TDS for doing that. He has done it without me asking. And so yeah, and as you can see, I get frozen for a couple times, so technology was not on my side this time. It was quite a challenge, actually. It was quite a challenge not to like to work on these things because yeah, I mean sometimes the internet just breaks down and all of a sudden I see myself like it's like I'm frozen. I'm like, okay. I hope they don't notice it. So yeah, Naaman, thank you for coming. This is I don't know if this is the first time coming onto the show, onto my YouTube channel. Please remember to give a like to that smash that like button, subscribe to my channel. If you look at the description, I have added my Twitter account for those of you who don't know. I've also added the Teespring store of this show of Unlocking Lore. Oh yeah. Yes. Internet is racist because obviously I am a minority. I am a woman. And I live in South America. So yeah, internet is racist for not working with me tonight. Definitely. And Dunadan, oopsies, sorry. It says, I majored in history. It's cool to hear old traditional stories I've never heard before. Well, it's amazing because I thought Bearskin and like the Grimm brothers are very well known, but definitely, I mean, yeah, I'm so glad that you're discovering these tales. So, and Naaman, I should consider that's okay, Naaman, that's fine. So, the Jimmy Kimmel defense. Oh yeah, definitely. Internet is racist because I am a single woman I am in a loving relationship, by the way, and I am a Latina living in a third world country, and internet is not working. So yeah, it's racist, sexist, istis, phobist. Yeah. So yeah, internet is that. So what else could it be, as Gato would say? So so new stories are on the way. New stories are going to be premiered in this channel. So I am too in a loving single relationship. That's good, Naaman. That's good. So so yeah, I hope to see you guys the next time. So news next week. on the 17th, I will be with Rayron in, sorry about that. I will be with Rayron in Triple C, Crochet, Collectibles, and Chatting. Hopefully, I will be premiering something very, very good. If you have been following my Twitter account, you'll probably get a whiff of what I will be premiering next week on Wednesday. So that is going to be awesome. Secondly, we do have the Ghostbusters 20, the Ghostbusters Afterlife coming up. So that's going to be very, very cool as well. And also, if I also have added, before I forget, I should have these things on written down. But anyway, I do have on my description a new Steam Elements for those of you who would just like to give a little tip for me to support my work, or just buy me a cup of coffee. So if you feel like doing that, just go ahead and support independent artists. And R to the Icky is so right. We have 3 major awesome guests for the Ghostbusters 20 Afterlife. I keep saying 2016, which sucks. I didn't even see the movie, and I don't plan to see it either. So we got 3 major guests for the Ghostbusters Afterlife, and that is going to be awesome. And we already said them. So we are going to be joined by R2 Nikki, and I are going to be joined by the Dunadan. Bravo. We are going to be joined by Dan from Inside the Booth, and we are also going to be joined by Rogue Disney, Tom Rogue Disney. So that's going to be really awesome. We are going to have a lot of fun on that stream. So make sure you hit that the little bell, if I do have a bell on my channel, because I don't know. But you can. Well, not kidding. Actually, the 3 of them can choose who they can be. Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, or Ernie. Okay, so well, Dan Aykroyd, you could say, yeah, sure, no problem. And hopefully it'll also premiere all over the world. So both Sam, who is in Dubai, and I, who I am in South America, we will try to see it before our episode of After the Weekend. If not, we will be telling you anyway. So, well, anyway, yeah. So that's it. Exciting news, exciting times. We will have more on the way. I will have definitely some other news, but I don't want to give it now because I do not have dates or schedules. But there's more stuff coming. So it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. It will be premiering in Southern America. Yes, it will be. Well, at least on my channel, it'll be premiering. Reviews will be premiering in South America on the 22nd. So stay tuned to that. And yeah, that's it for tonight. I hope everybody had fun. I hope you guys have a good day. Sam, have a good day. Have a good Friday. Everybody else, thank you so much for coming. Everybody have a good night. And I will see you next week on Wednesday and Thursday. I am out. Peace and love, everybody. Take care.